Hello, this is Presso, and I am back for part 42 of the Human Journal. This journal I call Deeper Truth. Early today, I was watching this clip on it's called, the clip on YouTube. It's called the KGB Secret Files of Alien Race Leaked. It's something like that. The thumbnails of this clip, okay, if you do the search on YouTube, it has it's like a blue color, it's a blue being with a blue skin complexion, like kind of like a light blue, like a dark blue, and it's kind of like the eyes are lit up and all that. And if you look that up, that's the clip that I was watching. And just watching this clip, I didn't watch the whole thing. I think it's part 4 of that clip, but there's different parts to it. Anyway, I was watching it, and it kind of brought me back. I was feeling this month ago about different ET beings that visited Earth, and different beings have different intentions why they come to Earth. And I remember I was talking to my friend, that I was telling her that I said, a lot of people talk about reptilians a lot, and that how some reptilians they play like or let's just say they're behind the powers that be that a lot of people talk about. A lot of conspiracists that talk about this, and how some of these reptilians are shapeshifters, and that they're in cahoots with the government, obviously all that stuff, and other beings. But I was just talking like months back. I felt that I want to talk about this, and I want to talk about myself, as Presso. And a lot of stuff that I talk about a lot, I inspire a lot of people, and I have my own angle, or you could say my own style to things, but I want to inspire everybody to be open to different parts of consciousness. I know it seems like humanity, for the most part, has this down packed about how a lot of ETs beings are coming over to take over the world. A lot of people got that down packed. I mean, the movies seem to be play an influence into a lot of people's minds, or people just don't believe in life outside of different parts of the universe or beyond in the first place. But I felt that there's a part of me was trying to avoid to talk about different beings, because for what I could tell you, my experience interacting with other beings, especially through channel, I don't have any other, I just can't recall anything at this moment about having some negative interactions with other beings. Just don't. And I felt like part of me wanted to avoid talking about the stories that a lot of people talk about. And, but months ago, when I keep seeing the story about reptilians over and over, and I felt like, and that's why I was talking to my friend of mine about that maybe months back. Like, I was telling her, like, why is this, I seem to run across it a lot. And I felt that there's a reason. But I still wanted to avoid it. I didn't want to talk about it. I expressed concerns in a way. I was talking to her about it. I was, telling my concerns, and she was saying that, she said something that there's this other being that's just as powerful than me. She says something like that. And I acknowledged that, yeah, but, even though I expressed some feelings about certain things, I wasn't afraid. I'm not afraid of reptilians. And I'm writing my book on top of that. I haven't been on top of my book as of late. I'm doing my best, just to get it done and all that. I do see it in spirit that my book is completed, but I'm going to add a lot of things. But I just felt like I just didn't want to see the other parts of, everything exists within consciousness. My last part, by the way, I did say that, consciousness, consciousness is multi-personality. Consciousness chooses chaos, and consciousness chooses joy. It's just that everything exists. I also mentioned, okay, that we don't have to be tied down into a particular paradigm. Okay. All right. You have an experience of whatever you're experiencing. You don't have to be stuck. Okay. But yeah, my last part, I was having my ayahuasca experience. Okay. I was drinking my brew. I didn't have any closed eye visuals or open eye visuals, or I didn't have any channel experience. But I got insights. I just got insights about life, more insights, and I just wanted to, I was sharing my last part about basically, that everything is combined into one. A lot of stuff don't make sense. I know a lot of people are fixated to a God, a religious God, that God is only good and there's no darkness when it comes to God. Yes, well, I understand. I took on that idea in religion that there's a source of life, that I am just a creation of God, right? And that, and that God is only light, but there's no darkness in God. And and a lot of people, we accept this idea that we're just a creation. So we're just, it's a kind of a separation. You're the creation and the creator. It's all shiny and good. Well, everybody, I know a lot of stuff that I do say bursts a lot of religious bubbles, but, I'm going to speak out. I experienced a lot of things in this world, and yeah, I did experience the religious part of it. But yeah, consciousness is all things. So consciousness is darkness, and consciousness is light. So you got all kinds of things within consciousness. So yeah, you got a lot of beings that comes in and comes in with different intentions. But again, I wanted to express this now, okay, that I've been avoiding this. I felt like I didn't want to face it. I felt like I didn't want to, I don't know, I'm trying to figure out how to express this right. I'm not I don't rehearse what I express. I'm just thinking a lot as I'm talking, but I just wanted to tell you that, yeah, I just didn't want to face it. I don't want to face different possibilities of existence within consciousness. So no, I didn't want to. I felt like I just didn't want to focus so much on beings that comes in and you have a collective other beings protecting Earth, because see, the thing is that, and I'm digging more into this, is that you all know. We grew up watching movies. We grew up watching comic books, right? Like, for example, the Avengers, right? You got the superhero. You got the Avengers, right? So the first Avengers, right? We got the, somehow, to make it short, you got the portal, the wormhole open up, and you got a lot of these aliens, everybody calls them aliens, coming in, invading Earth. So the Avengers defending Earth. And when I hear stories about, okay, that's the movie, The Avengers, okay? But when I hear stuff that people express, okay, whether you choose to believe some of the stuff that's on the internet or not, but when I hear stuff like that, how other beings, and let's say, for example, there's a council members of beings that you can call it the protector of Earth against other beings that want to colonize this world, or let's say you want to take over the world and stuff like that. When I hear stuff like that, it's like, it just seems so, like, I've just felt like humanity, on the human level of consciousness, been going through this story for so long. And that's why I feel I look at this stuff. And I was telling my friend of mine, it's like, this is why a lot of people, a good number of people that decide not to be open about other parts of consciousness. Because a lot of people decide to be afraid of something that's not human. And I just basically I just didn't want to face certain things. So yeah, everything exists, but watching this clip on this KGB secret files leak of different beams, I felt like I just needed to do this clip. I just needed to do that. I just needed to tell everybody that there's a lot of things goes on in this world of all existence. But I want to say this. I want to emphasize a little bit on this clip. You're never stuck. You can shift from one reality to the other reality. Okay. So if you choose to live in a world that's just doomed or is going to be doomed, then yes, that's the reality that you live, or you will live, or experience and stuff. But I still will say, okay, I'm going to say this, I know it's going to be a little hard to take in what I'm going to say, but those beings that seem to be, or talked about as a potential threat, again, remember I always tell you that everything of all creation, no matter what it is, no matter what dimension they're from, it's all from source of life. Everything in life is based on experience. Okay? Nobody can't really harm you. It doesn't matter what your body is or what happens to your body. We're talking about your spirit. Nothing can ever harm you. Okay? I'm not afraid of any beings that seem to be a potential threat. I'm not afraid of reptilians. I'm not afraid of tall whites. I'm not afraid of any other being that's being talked about. I'm gonna talk a little bit about this clip. But I mentioned the title of this clip. I want everybody that's listening to my clip to check that clip out. And see for yourself. The power is in your hands, everyone. I'm a being within consciousness that's about self-empowerment. Okay? We can choose to be a slave to things, and we choose not to be a slave. Okay? That's just it. That's the truth. You take what I'm saying or leave it. Something I forgot what I was going to say. I'm going to say this. Oh, yeah. Now I remember. Sorry. Okay. Before, I think it was like a year or 2 years. Okay. When I reconnected about myself, okay, within consciousness, okay, when I, see my name Cresso, okay, I reconnected to that name, to the life that I experienced before this dimension, okay, before I came to Earth. I felt good about it. I told my friend of mine, I was like, wow, it's just that, it just, boom, it hit me. The name hit me. I felt within my spirit. And it came together. Someone has a memory loss or amnesia or whatever, and it just, oh my gosh, I just remembered. It was something like that. And that was like maybe a year or 2 years ago. And I think that was right before when I reconnected to Creso. And there's a lot of stuff that's been happening to me. I've been getting these phenomenal dreams, and then the mystery voice. When I first came to Earth, the mystery voice that told me to do good. It's like kind of like a message, because this being understands the dimension that I decided to experience is very different. That being was a mother type figure in a dimension that I experienced before Earth. Everything was revealed to me on that part around the year 2004, I believe. The voice came to me. I've been doing my best to understand, who is that voice when I first came into this earth, and when she would reach out to me, okay, she reached out to me through telepathy and imagery thoughts. Like I had an image within me. It's kind of like a fax. You get a fax of somebody's photo, so it's like that within me. And top of that, the communication. So yeah, I mean that's my book. I know I'm revealing that part a little bit when I'm going to put in my book, but so that was revealed, and then my name, Chris. A lot of stuff that's been going on for the past over 10 years or so for me. Okay. And so when I rediscovered my name, Creso, I think maybe a month later, something like that, I tried out ayahuasca for the first time. Okay? When I tried ayahuasca for the first time, my first experience, okay, in ayahuasca, okay, I went to sleep, I had a dream. I was dreaming about this being, okay? It was a very interesting short dream, but I just knew that this wasn't just any type of dream. I mean, dreams are dreams. There's different levels of dreams, but this is very interesting. Sorry, I don't want to say, because I'm going to add that in my book, but and then from there, a lot of the beings that I interacted with was channeled. Okay. So now I want to talk about this KGB. When they were showing the faces of these beings, all these different humanoids, I didn't finish watching the whole clip, by the way, but the photos that they were showing, I just didn't recall their faces or that particular race. And but the beings that I channel with, okay. You see, their intention is not any hostile or anything to take over or any egotistic way of going about things. No. There was a lot of these beings I channel with was like very spiritual beings. Very spiritual, very connected. Yes. And also very powerful. But, they're not separated from me. The same, I'm not separated from them. Okay, we all as one. But the being that I channel with was very powerful and spiritual, very spiritually connected. So yeah, there's some beings that don't have a name. Some of them told me their name. Okay, as far as their race, I could give a description. I'm thinking about going back to art. To do some drawing. The photo I uploaded on this clip, I had a friend of mine, she helped me out to put that photo together. It's this photo, it's just to give you an idea, okay, just to give you an idea of what I look like on a spirit form and a physical form in a way. But I want to do my own sketch. Okay, and I wanted to, get to the point of uploading my own artwork about myself and these beings that I interacted with, and the beings that's going to be in my book. But the thing is that it was just, I'm just so blessed with these experiences I have, especially when I was taking my DMT experience. And it's like, I mean, some of them didn't get, some of them don't have a name, but I remember one being, okay, it didn't really have so much of a name, but it told me this. It told me to call it Rule Breaker. And I said, okay, yeah, I call it Rule Breaker. It doesn't go by any rules, obviously. Duh, yeah, Rule Breaker. But, yeah, it is being very loose. It doesn't take a lot of activities on Earth very seriously. It doesn't. It was a shape changer, meaning like it changes form a little bit, and also it divides time. I never forget my experience with Rule Breaker was that it's like the room that I was having my channel experience. I felt that within me that time stopped, and then time, he had a male type energy, so he showed me the outer room, okay, the room across, that the room across from the room that I was in when I had my channel experience, time was observed, time was going, but the room where I was in, time just stopped. It just did. I mean, it even attached to my feeling. Some of you understand what I'm talking about. You ever felt that there's a loss of time, or the awareness of time it's just not there. It's just how I felt when I was channeling with Rule Breaker. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of these beings that I channel with also, most of them, maybe just about most of them, confirm why I came to Earth. It's interesting because they remember me, and as I communicate with them, it was starting to come clear to me about them. Some of the beings that I connected with through channel, they don't recall me. It's just that when my channel experience came, it was like I just bump into one of them. It's kind of like, oops, excuse me, and then before I know it, I'm channeling with these beings. Yeah, I mean, it's just, and also, by the way, when I communicate with these beings, right? It's like before I have my DMT experience, I told you this in my other clips, it's kind of like random. I just don't know who I'm going to channel with, or what being, or what ability they do, or how they look like, or whatever. It's like random. I know I have the ability to communicate with the same beings again. I know that. I just haven't got to that. I haven't got to that or reconnected to that point. But anyway, when I was watching that clip, the KGB, Secret Files, I felt to myself that just a thought, it was my own ego was just suggesting to me that, how come you're not aware of these things? Or how come you don't know these beings that's been talked about? And I felt like, oh man, like why I am not aware of this at the moment. And I'm going to say this, everybody, and this is in general now. If you're not aware on something, okay, I'm going to say this the flat out truth. If you're not aware of certain things, don't sweat it. You see, deep down in your spirit, you know the truth of all things. I said something like that in my last part now. You do know But when you at a certain level, you're not going to be aware, and that's okay. There's no contest. What person knows the most? The ego, the ego tries to figure everything out. And it's just a lot of stuff, it's like, you just got to flow with it. You got to be like water, you just got to flow, and that's something I got to remind myself. I got to tell that to myself. Don't worry about it. Sometimes, I get caught into, like, how come I don't know everything at the moment? Don't worry about it. If you don't know everything about it, that's okay. You see, the thing is, everyone, I don't got anything to prove to anybody. My own mind tells me that I have to prove things to people. It's like, I know people, not everybody, but a lot of people are so bent on wanting some sort of proof, evidence, or some sort of evidence of proof, or what's your credentials, and like, my thing is, everybody, and I'm sorry, I gotta be blunt here, okay? Fuck credentials, okay? Fuck it. That's just how I feel. Period. You got something to share, no matter what it is. Because it doesn't have to be anything about other parts of the universe. But whatever you want to express in your heart, you have something to share, just share it. All right? You don't got to prove a damn thing to anybody. I just got to say that. I do. I really do. I really felt like I have to say that. I'm like, fuck the idea of credentials. It's just all ego. It is. I mean, and even if you do have some credentials, you still got to work your way up to try to get approval from anybody. It's like this. People are going to believe what they want to believe. That's the plain truth. So you could be some high-ranking official, or you could be some celebrity in Hollywood, whoever you are. You still got to work. You still got to sweat your, wherever. You got to go through all kinds of declaration to try to convince people that you're telling the truth about something. Like, don't worry about it. Just speak your heart out. I'm going to say this, okay? The fact that, the thing is, your existence, and I feel like I just need to say this to myself, your existence alone, just your existence alone, okay, you are valid, okay? You are valid because you exist. Your consciousness. So if anybody that's just leaning so hard in their own ego and again telling you that, oh, what's your credential? Who are you? Fuck it. Speak your heart, and that's it. And if people don't believe you, just move on. Seriously. I just got to say that for anybody. No matter what you want to share. I think that's why a lot of people hold back what they want to share. Because a lot of us sometimes we're too caught up into trying to convince people. Like I tell you, people are going to believe what they want to believe, no matter how many damn proof you can present to somebody. All right? You can go and go to the damn bank and get a notarized letter or something. Here's my proof. Doesn't matter. People are going to believe what they want to believe, period. Everybody decides to be narrow-minded, and there's some people decide to be open-minded. And it's okay. It's all experience. Someone that's narrow-minded, they're going through their experience. It doesn't make them lesser than you, or you being open doesn't make you better than the next person. Everybody goes through the experience, and everybody decides to wake up and not wake up. And yet, everyone is still consciousness. Yeah, sometimes I laugh. Sometimes I just crack up. How people respond when we share about stuff. But yeah, I'm going to share some stuff about me. I'm going to share things about me, like now in this clip. I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about a little bit more details about Creso, and yeah. I'm going to say this, everyone. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in my other clips. I made so many clips. I'm kind of like, I think I'm going, I don't know how many clips, but I feel like I'm reaching to 100 clips right now on my YouTube channel. I just lost count. um, you know, um, okay, sorry. Here's a description my other physical form, okay? My other physical form, okay, I was 7 feet. I was 7 feet tall. My skin complexion was like a copper type skin complexion. My hair was like copper too. The hair structure is a little different, very similar to humans, but very different, okay? I just want to give you some basic stuff, okay? There's more to it in my book, but and when my eyes glow, because I know my avatar, I have my eyes lit up like that. Okay, I did see that avatar. I was doing my best to give like a reminiscence to what my other physical form looked like. So I did the best I could. That's my human form, but I had to add some effects, the skin color, the eyes, and all that stuff, and and the cool background on behind my avatar. So yeah, when my eyes light up is that when I meditate, when I go through meditation, all right, in a dimension I observe, my eyes light up. It's it's an energy that's being released from within that I could just basically create a wormhole, you could call it, or pierce through a door out of nowhere, like an opening. So every dimension to dimension is like a veil, or it's like a curtain. You just open it up, or just lift up the curtain and just go right through. I call myself a multi-dimensional being. Okay, I don't remember, like I said about awareness. I'm not aware about at this moment. I'm not aware about the name of my race. Okay. So I had to go by what seemed to be closest. So I call myself a multidimensional being, or I call myself a light being. Okay? But the reason why I call myself, for example, a multidimensional being, because you see, also, I live a dual life, meaning I live physical and I live a spirit. Okay? So the ways I travel, the different ways I travel, okay? I travel through physically, okay? When I meditate, I open up a wormhole, I go through, I visit different realms and stuff like that. When I travel, now when I have my out-of-body experience, okay, I'm able to do things more. Actually, before I go on with my spirit, what I used to do physically, okay, what I used to do physically is that, yes, I do things like telekinesis, okay, I move objects, okay, I could reappear and disappear, okay, even physically, I could do that. And these are some of the stuff that the insights, or I've been reconnected with through time. I think for the past, it came so strong to me for the past 2 years or so. Can I fly? Well, I can fly, but it's not like it's not so hard on, like, for example, like Superman, for example, or Neo. It's just I can, but I've done different things. I could manipulate time, also. Like I would do things at a slow speed and I do things at a fast speed, all at one time. Okay, it's kind of hard to describe, but there's more to it. Okay, and also, and I basically my meditation, I'm able to open up wormholes and stuff like that. I did mention about telekinesis, and also about communication. I communicate, the way of my communication is telepathy. Okay, a lot of the multidimensional beings in my dimension observed, we communicate that way. We do talk from our mouth, verbally, and I don't recall at this moment, okay, the language. I remember actually, I think maybe over 5 years ago, or something like that, with some of my friends, I told her that I only remember like a tiny sketches of how I used to talk. The language, or how it sounds. I just gonna just go by somewhat of, just grab some small examples. The sound of language sounds a mixture of Chinese and Middle Eastern. So someone talks like Arabic and then Chinese, it sounds like the both together. It sounds very strange it would sound strange to the ear, to your ears. So, but yeah, but I'm not aware of how to say it or speak it. I'm just not. And now again, I do know this. It's compounded within my spirit. You see, my higher self from within would align itself, okay? I will align myself when it's time, okay? Like Creso. Why I didn't recall my name, the life that I lived before, in the first place when I first came into this world. Why? Right? It's just that I have to go through certain experiences first in order to reconnect with my name, for example. Or, for example, this being that's a mother figure, okay? Why she didn't reveal herself through telepathy or her face more when I first came into this world, right? Why the voice was such a mystery for so long? It's because I had to go through certain experiences first until myself saying, yes, I'm ready for this experience now. And that's when things was revealed to me about her. There's other abilities I could do physically, okay? Now, spiritually, okay, I did tell you I live a dual life, okay? Spiritually, now I was telling you about my out-of-body experience. I'm able to go, let's say, I don't know how to put it, do the best I can. Yes, I'm able to go through different dimensions, but I'm able to go through dimensions a lot more than my physical state, okay? I remember me and other multidimensional beings and other beings that different life forms. We did a lot of traveling through out-of-body experience, okay? Like, for example, like small groups. Maybe not small group, maybe a large group, but, whatever. And I could do things just like the physical do, but I do things a lot more. It's kind of hard to explain how I do things in an audio clip. I feel like I'm able to draw it. And that's why I really need to get back into drawing. I really need to do that because a lot of things in my movie, for example, and I'm going to do my best with my book, but my movie, I do envision that my movie is going to be it's going to be lots of visual effects, like a ton of stuff. And so yeah, it's like I'm able to move physical matter or change things or change the condition of a planet. I just remember one of my experiences. Oh wow. I'm gonna share this, and I know I recorded my experience. It's just that the audio quality of some of my experience is not really the best. So I'm gonna tell you some of my experience right now. Okay. I just remember I was telling you about how my spirit formed when I was in the spirit form. How I'm able to change the condition of a planet. I never forget this being that I interacted with, that channel with. This being was reminded me that what me and it was a male type energy too. This was a male being too. It was reminding me that what we used to do to this planet. The planet was like filled with water, like it was like so much water in it, and we just turned it into sand. Like the beings in the planet really was like trying to figure out what we're going to do with this water. Amount of water was way too much water, and we turned it into a sand planet, into mostly sand. I mean, there's some water, but we just changed the condition. It was reminded me of my channel experience. Like, oh, come on, Crystal, you forgot. You know, it's like, and it was giving me visuals, what I've done. Also, I'm like, wow. Some people might call me a god over people, but I'm not really. You know, one of my experience, one of the beings that I channel with, okay, you know, they also acknowledge that if I would have chose to come to Earth in my other physical form, one of the beings that I channel with did told me that, yeah, a lot of people gonna look at me as a god, and that's not the reason. And I didn't want that. I didn't want people to see me as a god over them. I didn't want that. Because humanity, see, the human side of consciousness has been going along with the story that anytime there's a being with higher intelligence, quote unquote, or does some like whatever, some crazy abilities, oh, we gotta worship it. It's a god. And then you find yourself bound down, stuff like that. I didn't want that. And that's why I decided to reincarnate myself into this human body. So my spirit, okay, I'm going to, actually before, I want to get to that part about the reincarnation. I like to call it soul travel. I tell you about my out-of-body experience going from one dimension to the other dimension. Now, the reincarnation, or you could call it, you know, and some of you probably heard of this, it's soul travel. Okay, it's kind of like the same as the out-of-body experience because you're leaving your physical body. Yes. And I remember actually, matter of fact, one of the clips that I created, one of my parts was, you know, the part that is called out-of-body experience. I think it's part 25, I believe. I believe it's part 25, excuse me. I did mention on that part of my human journal that when you leave your body, it's permanent. Like, let's say, you know, a lot of you heard is silver cord, right? And once the silver, this is what I heard here on Earth, right? So once the silver cord is cut, that's it, you know? Now, there's different levels of out-of-body experience, or let's just say reincarnation. Now, when I reincarnated, okay, when I left my body, you see, I'll explain this. When I reincarnated, you see, I chose this body. Okay, I chose it. Okay, I observed this body, and I wanted to merge with it, my spirit. Okay, and the spirit of this body. I mean, we're all as one. But let's just say, for the sake of the idea of reincarnating and becoming as one. Yes, I did that. And it's all part of a plan, you know. My other physical form, okay, it's preserved. It's like, and by the way, it doesn't decay. It's just there. Because I remember one of my dreams that I had back in, I think it's back in 2004 or 2005. I had this dream that I was waking up. I was waking up in my other physical form. And matter of fact, this is around the same time that my, let's just say the mother figure, okay, of this multi-dimensional being, when she revealed herself to me, okay, around that time, you see, that dream, that one of my dreams that I had around that time is that I remember her face again. I dreamt of her again. And her face was a little blurry, but it's like as if she was like right next to me while I was lying down on my physical form. It's like I couldn't see clear enough. And like you know what I'm talking about. When you're about to get up and you see things like blurry and all that stuff, and you go right back to sleep, right? You're just tired. That's what happened to that dream. That's how the dream ended. It's like It's like she was trying to. I'm trying to figure out how to say this right. It's like she was trying to have me come around, or she was just standing. She didn't say anything really. It's like I was trying to. I remember I was doing my best to wake up, but I didn't. I went back to sleep. So it's like my spirit was like on this dimension and in the other dimension at the same time. So when that dream ended like that, when I went back to sleep, I woke up here again. And during that time, everyone, I didn't really know who I was entirely, and I felt so low. I felt so depressed about this world. I thought that, because I knew in my spirit, I knew I didn't belong here. I just didn't have a whole clear picture yet about everything at that time. I really thought that dream, that I was going to leave this world. I wanted to leave. I wanted to leave this world since I came here. I just didn't remember why I came here in the first place. It's just that for so long, I really thought that I felt like I was dumped here, or how the hell I got here. And then when I became a Christian, for the experience sake, I thought that, and I was worshiping some outside God. Didn't recall worshiping some sort of outside God in this dimension I'm from, but anyway, I went along with it for the experience sake. And I gravitated to this idea and then I came to myself throughout my Christianity belief that God punished me, He dumped me in this world. So because I had to make sense why I'm here. So that's why I automatically leaned towards religion. It was the only information that I had at the time. I mean, it didn't make me feel better that I believe in some outside God, so I kind of looked at this outside God that's responsible for me being here. I just described this world as a dark pit. That's how I felt. Again, my spirit. I knew that the beings that I interacted with was the complete opposite by nature in this dimension. But anyway, a lot of stuff, a lot of things that I didn't understand, and now I understand now, and now I understand that it was my choice. I have a much, much better understanding of things now more than ever in my experience on Earth. Oh, wow. You're gonna learn a lot more about me on my book and my movie. I know it's gonna a lot of stuff that a lot of my recordings and a lot of stuff that I share on Twitter or anywhere. I'm just giving you a lot of pieces of me, of where I'm at, about life itself. Period. I'm just inspiring everybody. Like I told you, I'm just giving you a nudge, But if a lot of people want to be, stay asleep or closed-minded, okay, you're free to do that. But, so I know I talk a lot about myself, but, so, to go back with this clip, the KGB, Secret Files leaked, ET races or alien races, you want to call it. Yeah, there was one being that they talked about. If you look at that clip, they mentioned about this being. It reminds me of me and the other multidimensional beings. But this being, they call it 2017. I don't know why it's called that way. I gotta look at it again. But if you get to that part, okay, you understand what I'm saying. You see, this being how I put it. This being it's kind of like, I guess they was describing it as like a Palladian, but this being was like kind of like got like blonde hair and it smelled like flowers and stuff like that. that's what the video says. That clip. Um, they they have spacecraft, and how they're able to travel is through they're able to bend space. And when I heard that, that sounds very similar to me a little bit. The difference is that I don't recall, see, multidimensional beings, for what I could see on this awareness right now, from what I'm aware right now, okay, that we didn't need any spacecraft to travel. I traveled through the body, either through physical body or the spirit, just piercing through, creating wormholes. But you can't travel on a spacecraft and bend space. It gets a little hard to explain on that, but yeah, you could do these things. Spirit, the idea of imagination and spirit, those are very powerful things. We can all talk about the hardware, and the hardware does all the work, but not really. I mean, there's a lot more than the hardware of these spacecraft, how they operate. I'm going to meditate more and more because I am fascinated with spacecraft. I am, even though I didn't want to, not want to, excuse me, even though I don't recall traveling into one, but actually, by the way, it was offered to me before I reincarnated into this body. One of the beings, okay, offered me to travel in its spacecraft on Earth because they'd been to Earth before. And I said, no, I wanted to reincarnate it into the human body. And that's in my book. So I'm giving you little tiny snippets in my book. I know I keep saying that. It probably sounds annoying when I keep saying that about, I won't say it too much because it's all of them going to be in my book. I just want, you see, when you read my book, okay, I want people to feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just the whole thing about surprise or excitement. Wow, this is really cool. I don't know. I just, for those that write books, you understand, right? You don't want to share everything right now, but that's just how I feel, I just feel like my book is going to definitely, a lot of people from all walks of life is going to understand about me and just about life itself, period. I mean, I just want to say this to everyone, you do know the truth of life. It's in your spirit. My book is going to basically inspire you to reconnect or just go in. That's the whole thing is about. It's about people reconnecting who they are. And you're going to use your imagination by reading my book. Because imagination is very powerful. Because that's what we are. We're all imagined. So, I just want to mention this about this clip. I'm going to close out really quickly. A lot of these beings that I saw on this clip, okay, I don't recall them, okay? I don't recall their faces, okay, or this particular race, okay? But I did add some of the stuff. I add something in my book about it. I'm doing my best to meditate, especially about the reptilians. I don't recall. And, like I told you, it's okay. If you're not aware about certain things at the particular moment, it's okay. Don't sweat it. Things is being revealed to me from source of life. I'm very grateful. I am very, truly grateful for this. There are some beings that have different intentions, as far as the beings that looking out, that's basically the protector of Earth. Everybody, everything, all that, right? These are just paradigms, right? The idea of beings protecting Earth and all that, and then you got beings that want to take over Earth and all that, right? All that stuff is just paradigm. Even me, I'm observing a paradigm. I'm observing a paradigm of a multidimensional being reincarnated into the human body, okay? And I want to inspire people to be awakened. That's it. That's a paradigm. You know, we could choose what paradigm you want to observe. Well, I want to say this. Everything exists. And that's why I have to come to myself to say this, that I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to avoid it. I'm not going to avoid of anything about consciousness. So if there's an idea of a being that wants to take over the world and da-da-da, right? I'm not afraid of that. I know who I am. Okay? I know who I am. I'm not afraid of reptilians. I'm not afraid of tall whites. Okay? If the government in cahoots with some of these beings, that's not going to stop me from doing what I have to do. And all this stuff, everybody, like I told you in my last clip, all this stuff, consciousness, orchestrate everything. I know, it doesn't make no sense. Like, how can a godlike being orchestrate all this stuff? Well, we're all gods, and we all go through experiences. See, life itself is sectioned into different, endless amounts of experience. Even experience that you feel that it should be vanished. It should be in the abyss, like something that's so dark and evil. It cannot be around. No, no, no. Everything exists because everything is source of life. Everything. So if I encounter a being, right, that's just as powerful as I am, okay? I mean, we all power, though. Let's just put it that way. But let's just say, for the sake of this conversation, I interacted with a being or a reptilian or anybody. I'm not afraid. I know my power. I know who I am. And so is that being. There's some beings are not spiritually connected, just like humans. Some humans are not by choice now, okay, on a spirit level. Okay, we do things by choice on a deeper level. And the surface part is going to look at it like you don't know what you're doing. So yes, other beings are not spiritually connected. You know, it's a little different than humans, but, you know, there's beings going to do things that's very egotistic. Okay, so yes, they're going to try to take over. They're going to try to colonize the world and stuff like that. And then you have one being play the role of being a protector. Okay, everything exists for a reason. But like I told you, you know, like I said before, nobody can harm you. Okay, all right. I'll just put it that way because you know who you all are. You don't have to stay stuck still having a particular experience. Everybody's able to shift from one reality to the other reality. Life is infinite. You will always be around. So the thing is, let's say you're so afraid of reptilians, right? Well, let's just say you decide to leave your human experience. Hey, in your spirit, you will decide to probably be a reptilian, to actually experience being a reptilian. A lot of people within the human race, you all been reincarnated. You've been reincarnated into a human, and you've been reincarnated into other life forms. So it depends on your spirit within consciousness. You probably was formless and decided to be a physical form. Like I told you this in my last part. And yeah, you know, it's just so much stuff that I was getting from this KGB clip about the pyramids. There's the U.S. government there's some activities going on with the pyramid, and there's some beings, some I don't know. There's different species of reptilians, but there's reptilians that's been. I gotta listen to this part. I have to listen to this part again, but I heard something about reptilians they have some bases, a permanent base within the pyramids or other parts of the world, but the pyramids. There seems to be some activity goes on, yes, and they was talking about how the U.S. government and other world governments involved in this stuff. I'm like, look, you know, everybody, we could play the role. Whatever role you choose to follow or observe is your choice. So the government's in cahoots with the ETs, let's just say, okay? Okay, that's just part of the stage. It's like the government, right, or these beings, let's say the reptilians, they're just playing their role in that stage. Okay, what part you're gonna play? Hey, it's your choice. You know, you could decide to be human and act fully, just only human, and to say, oh my gosh, the world's being taken over, and the government's involved, and then we got all these other beings gonna come in there, gonna take over us and probably eat us and all those things. So you know, you could just an example now, okay? You could play that role. You know, we're free to choose any character or any role we want. That's the beauty thing about life. You know. Um, So yeah, I'm not going to, I'm not going to like avoid it. Okay, if I choose to observe whatever paradigm that comes my way, if I choose to observe it, I will observe it. If I don't want to observe it, I don't want to observe it. I can shift. I know who I am, and you know, check this clip out, everyone. Okay, check it out, and there's a lot of activities going on in the sky. You know, you've seen a lot of spacecraft, a lot of stuff going on, okay? I'm not surprised about any of these things because Earth is a multidimensional place. Even though it's on the forefront side, it's like a third dimensional. But there's a lot of dimensions to get that. Remember I was telling you my other clip. There's a lot of dimensions within consciousness stick together like glue, okay? All right? So when you see things in the sky that disappears and reappear, yeah, yeah. It's the same thing that I've done in the life that I came before Earth. Now, can I do these abilities here as a human in the human body? Yeah, I believe I can. I'm definitely focusing more on my book. Okay, I want to get that done. Uh, I doing my clips to inspire everybody. I got other things, you know. I'm not really so anxious to relearn or reconnect with telekinesis and all that. These things, I'll just put it like this. These things, everything what I need to know comes to me. Okay, I don't have to fight for it. Okay, consciousness within me knows what I want. Okay, uh, you know, I just want to say that. As far as talking telepathy, yeah, I could do that too. Okay, okay, I could just, I just put it out there and just consciousness knows what I want. So I'm not going to sweat it. You know, uh, I kind of feel like my role here, that I choose, I kind of feel like an undercover type ET. You know, yeah, I'm in a human body. A lot of stuff I say is coming out of my mouth, so I don't have no compelling evidence to show people that I'm not of a human. But yeah, I'm gonna still speak out. I'm still gonna speak out. I'm still gonna write my book, and I'm still gonna do my movie. You know, I'm still gonna do that. You know, I'm not gonna. I don't. Like I said early in this clip, fuck credentials. All right, I don't need credentials. I'll speak my heart out regardless. Okay, I'm not here to please the ego mind. I'm here to talk to the spirit. Okay, that is why I chose to be here on this dimension. And I want to say this real quick, really, really, really quick. Okay, now you could take what I say or leave it. Okay, Steven Spielberg and George Lucas. You know, these two guys been doing movies together, right? How to say this real quick. I'm very fascinated with Steven Spielberg, and I haven't read his bio, but I'm planning to. A lot of stuff that he's created, his movies, Close Encounters, is to me, that's one of the best. That's one of the best ET movies that I recall seeing. Okay, I see. I'm and when my movie's out and when people interview me about my movie, I'm going to mention this movie, Close Encounters. because in the beginning of my Earth journey, that movie impacted me. I love to see more of that. And you know what? In spirit, I do see more of that. Steven Spielberg, I feel that, I personally feel that the information, his imaginative state, okay, is no coincidence. The information that he's putting out there with his movies, his creativity, his imagination is universal. Okay? Let's just say he doesn't have any compelling evidence that he is maybe what? That he communicated with ETs or he encountered one or whatever. But it's coming from within, okay, from him, okay, the spirit. And he's sharing it in the movie, especially George Lucas. You know, there's no coincidence why these two guys do these movies, Star Wars and all that. And it just goes back that they are influenced by other dimensions within consciousness. You know, when I was watching the KGB clip, and it was showing the reptilians and stuff like that, that's covering like some sort of garment or hood, whatever. You know what it reminds me of? That being reminds me of the Sith Lord in Star Wars. It's just that I'm starting to see patterns and similarities of things. You know, people, remember I was telling you about how we imagine? See, when we imagine things, it already exists. A lot of stuff that you see in the movies, don't be too quick to shoot it down. Say, oh, that's just full of it, whatever. Everything does exist. Imagination is very powerful now. I told you this before, everyone. Now, I mentioned about George Lucas and Steven Spielberg. Now, I want to mention this real quick, because the KGB clip, the clip I was telling you about, it was talking about the lion, I think it's called the lion people or the cat people, okay? You know, in Egyptian days, during the Egyptian days, very, very fascinated with cats. There's no coincidence now. The cartoon in the 80s, Thundercats, you've probably seen this and heard this on YouTube, that there's a connection with these things. Yeah. Somebody that, I don't know the creator's name that did the Thundercats, but it's like, you know, you ask yourself, where did this idea come from? Right? Or maybe the creator from the Thundercats, maybe he picked up something from the Egyptian art and then pasted together to create a cartoon of Thundercats. Well, when you look at the characters, they're humanoids, but they're cats. The thing is that whether you choose to believe what I'm saying or not, okay, and this is so fantastical, okay, a lot of stuff, for example, that cartoon, okay, that person imagined and put together this cartoon, there is a humanoid race that are cats, okay? It is. You can sit there and laugh about all you want, but I'm just telling you flat out, whatever you imagine, it could be the most ridiculous thing. You can imagine Mickey Mouse flying inside a cloud or dancing on top of a cloud. That exists, all right? No bull. So I just want to mention that real quick about the cat, or they call it the lion people or the cat people on the KGB clip. I haven't recalled interacting with the cat people, okay? But I've seen different clips from different sources and a blog posting of somebody interacted, actually. There were some people, there's been claims that people interacted with cat people. One of the things that stands out about the cat people, and it's probably different species of cat people, but that they have a large appetite for sex. Yeah, that's just wanted to say that. Yeah, so yeah, I've heard stories that humans are having sex with ETs and ETs having sex with humans. Yeah, those things obviously exist. Do I like hearing those stories about people having sex with ETs? Yeah, I do. I think it's great. I do see that happening more abroad. It's just that it just will freak you out at a certain level. because it's just too outside the norm of Earth. I call it the Earth bubble. So, but yeah, I've read all kinds of stuff. People interaction with ETs and I'm talking about pockets, okay? And but yeah, no, sexual intercourse, experience with other beings. I think it's great. I love hearing it. I do. Uh, I just don't know why some people just shun away from it. But it's a choice. You can look at something like that and think it's crazy, and it's okay. You know, it doesn't make you, again, just because you're not, just because you don't accept certain things, or just because you're not open-minded, doesn't make you lesser than anybody. It's just that you going through your experience. You want to go through your experience to be closed-minded because you, at the particular moment, you are getting something out of it. And it's okay. I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes I get caught in my own head and get a little frustrated with people to be open-minded. But I have to tell myself, look, everybody goes through the different experience. Even though you have something that you presented to everybody, that's the universal truth, right? To inspire people to wake up, right? And in your spirit, within consciousness, that what you're saying is going to free, it's much more freeing for somebody. But they don't want to hear what you have to say. And that's why I have to tell myself, people are going to go through the experience and choose to shift out of the experience when they are ready. I'm going to say this real quick. Consciousness is ultimately power, and consciousness is all about expansion, okay? So even though you feel, and I know it sounds a little bit contradictory what I'm saying, so I hope this makes sense what I'm saying to you. You may feel narrow-minded, but before you know it, you're going to be open up to other possibilities. It's just that's life. I mean, things may stay the same. It may look like it stays the same, but everything's changeable. It's just life. I mean, you look at a rock. Look at a rock or a boulder. You say the boulder doesn't move, but it does move. The boulder moves. It changes its conditions all the time. I mean, nothing stays the same, like solid. You know what I mean? Nothing. Everything's changeable. So I said a lot. I know this clip is a little bit longer. Sorry. I do my best to really record for like 30 minutes because I know a lot of people don't like listening to long clips. But it's just I have so much in my heart to share. And if you're able to get to this point, thank you for listening. And I know within my heart that you're inspired what the things that I have to share. So it's really, truly a blessing to be here and to inspire anybody from all walks of life, because everybody's consciousness. It's a blessing. It is, and I'm definitely going to continue doing what I enjoy doing, because it's my highest joy to inspire. So, because I'm inspired, and I know you're inspired. So, anyway. Okay, everyone. Check out that clip that I mentioned. All right, KGB secret files leaked, alien races leaked, something like that. Sorry. The thumbnail of that clip, you have an ET that's with a blue skin complexion, like a light blue. Like it looks like the skin is like, it's like a special effects type. Okay, and the eyes are lit up. Check that out. Okay, and yeah, just go in and just meditate. Just you judge for yourself. Okay. All right, everyone. I will be back for part 43. Take care.